Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my beloved brothers and sisters in faith. Welcome back to our channel where we celebrate the extraordinary scientific pioneers of Islamic civilization, who transformed human understanding and laid the foundations for modern knowledge. Today I'm thrilled to share with you an absolutely incredible story that will revolutionize how you perceive the magnificent scientific heritage of Islam and demonstrate the profound impact our scholars had on chemistry, medicine, and natural philosophy. Before we dive into this fascinating journey, please subscribe and hit that notification bell because what you're about to discover will fill you with immense pride in our Islamic legacy and inspire you to pursue knowledge with the same dedication and brilliance that defined our golden era. Have you ever wondered who established the very foundations of modern chemistry, who developed the experimental methods that transformed natural philosophy into a precise science, who created the first systematic approach to chemical analysis and laboratory procedures that are still used today? What kind of extraordinary mind could seamlessly combine deep Islamic spirituality with groundbreaking scientific innovation, revolutionizing our understanding of matter and transformation while remaining steadfast in his devotion to Allah and his divine wisdom? Today, I want to tell you about a man whose name should be celebrated in every Muslim home, a towering intellectual giant whose scientific discoveries advanced human civilization by centuries, and whose methodological approach became the cornerstone of experimental science. A brilliant scholar whose work represents the absolute pinnacle of Islamic scientific achievement during our most glorious period. This remarkable man is Abu Musa Jabir ibn Hayyan, known in the West as Geber, and his incredible contributions to chemistry, alchemy, medicine, and natural philosophy represent one of the most revolutionary intellectual achievements in human history. A legacy that continues to influence modern science nearly 13 centuries after his groundbreaking work. Picture this scene with me. It's the 8th century CE, around 721, and in the city of Tus, in Khorasan, present-day Iran, a child is born into a world where Islamic civilization is experiencing unprecedented intellectual flowering, where scholars from across the vast Islamic empire converge to exchange knowledge and push the boundaries of human understanding, where scientific inquiry and religious devotion unite to create an atmosphere of learning unmatched in human history. This child, Jabir ibn Hayyan, grows up during the Abbasid Caliphate's Golden Age, immersed in the most advanced educational environment of his time, in a society where Muslim scholars are making revolutionary discoveries in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and natural philosophy, where the synthesis of Greek, Persian, Indian, and Arab knowledge traditions creates unprecedented opportunities for scientific advancement. His education is remarkably comprehensive, encompassing not only the traditional Islamic sciences of Quran, Hadith, and Islamic jurisprudence, but also the cutting-edge natural philosophy and mathematical knowledge that makes the Islamic world the undisputed center of scientific learning, where students travel from distant lands to study under the greatest minds of their generation. The young Jabir's exceptional abilities become apparent early as he demonstrates not only mastery of existing knowledge, but also an innovative spirit that sees possibilities others have missed, combined with a systematic approach to investigation that would later revolutionize scientific methodology and establish chemistry as a distinct scientific discipline. But what truly sets him apart is his profound Islamic faith, which inspires him to view scientific research not merely as intellectual curiosity, but as a sacred obligation, a means of contemplating Allah's creation and discovering the divine principles governing the natural world. Understanding that every chemical reaction and transformation reveals another aspect of Allah's infinite wisdom. His approach to knowledge is both rigorous and spiritually grounded, recognizing that true understanding comes from Allah, and that scholars serve as instruments through which divine knowledge is revealed to humanity, believing that the pursuit of natural philosophy is a form of worship that brings us closer to understanding our Creator's magnificent design. As he establishes himself in Baghdad under the patronage of the Abbasid caliphs, particularly Harun al-Rashid, Jabir quickly gains recognition as an exceptional natural philosopher and physician. But his true genius lies in his revolutionary approach to experimental research, his meticulous documentation of procedures, and his innovative spirit that leads him to develop new methods and apparatus that transform chemical investigation from speculation into precise science. His laboratory in Baghdad becomes the world's first true chemical research facility, equipped with sophisticated apparatus of his own design, where he conducts systematic experiments that establish the fundamental principles of chemical analysis and synthesis, developing techniques and instruments that wouldn't be improved upon for centuries, and setting standards for scientific rigor that continue to influence modern research. What makes Jabir's contributions so extraordinary is not just the breadth of his discoveries, but the depth of his methodology, his ability to approach complex chemical problems with systematic precision and develop innovative solutions that advance human understanding in fundamental ways, establishing chemistry as an independent science distinct from philosophy and medicine. He develops the first scientific classification of chemical substances, organizing them into categories based on their properties and behavior, rather than philosophical speculation, creating a systematic framework for understanding matter that becomes the foundation for all subsequent chemical research and demonstrates the sophistication of Islamic scientific methodology. His discovery and isolation of numerous chemical compounds, including various acids, alkalis, and salts, represents a quantum leap in chemical knowledge, with his methods for producing sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and hydrochloric acid remaining essentially unchanged for centuries and providing the foundation for countless industrial and scientific applications. His work in metallurgy and materials science, developing new techniques for refining metals and creating alloys, contributes significantly to technological advancement throughout the Islamic world and beyond, with his methods being adopted by craftsmen and engineers across Eurasia and establishing new standards for metalworking precision. But perhaps his greatest contribution to human knowledge is his development of the experimental method itself, his understanding that reliable knowledge must be based on careful observation, controlled experimentation, and systematic analysis rather than mere theoretical speculation or acceptance of ancient authorities, principles that wouldn't be widely adopted in Europe for several centuries. He pioneers the use of precise measurement and quantitative analysis in chemical research, developing techniques for determining the composition and purity of substances that establish chemistry as an exact science, creating methodological standards that continue to guide scientific investigation today, and demonstrating the Islamic commitment to empirical truth over philosophical speculation. His extensive writings, including the famous Kitab Alchemy and hundreds of other treatises, provide detailed descriptions of experimental procedures, chemical apparatus, and theoretical frameworks that serve as textbooks for generations of scholars throughout the Islamic world and Europe, with his works being translated into Latin and becoming foundational texts for European alchemists and chemists. The impact of Jabir's work extends far beyond the Islamic world, with his discoveries and methods being transmitted to Europe through translations and scholarly exchanges, contributing significantly to the European Renaissance and the development of modern chemistry, with European scholars acknowledging him as the father of chemistry and recognizing that his innovations laid crucial foundations for the scientific revolution. His influence on the development of chemical analysis is particularly profound, with his techniques for testing and purifying substances being used by chemists and physicians throughout Europe and the Islamic world for centuries, establishing analytical methods that remain fundamental to modern chemistry and materials science. The pharmaceutical knowledge he develops, including new methods for preparing medicines and understanding chemical interactions in the human body, contributes to significant advances in Islamic medicine and establishes principles of pharmaceutical chemistry that benefit patients across the known world, demonstrating the practical applications of his theoretical discoveries. But beyond his technical innovations, Jabir's legacy represents something even more profound: the perfect synthesis of Islamic faith and scientific excellence, the demonstration that devotion to Allah and commitment to advancing human knowledge are not only compatible but mutually reinforcing aspects of a truly Islamic life, showing how religious conviction can inspire and guide scientific achievement. His life exemplifies the Islamic principle that seeking knowledge is a sacred duty, that using our God-given intellect to understand Allah's creation is a form of worship, that the pursuit of truth and excellence in all endeavors is a way of honoring Allah and serving His creation. Principles that continue to inspire Muslim scientists and scholars today. His ethical approach to scientific research, his commitment to sharing knowledge with all who could benefit from it, and his understanding that scientific advancement serves humanity regardless of cultural or religious boundaries, reflect the highest ideals of Islamic scholarship and demonstrate how religious faith can guide scientific excellence while maintaining universal benefit. The laboratories and centers of learning that emerge throughout the Islamic world, many following his model and using his methods, create a standard of chemical research that surpasses anything available elsewhere, demonstrating the practical benefits of combining religious devotion with rigorous scientific methodology and establishing the Islamic world as the undisputed leader in chemical knowledge. His work in theoretical chemistry, developing new understanding of chemical bonding and molecular structure that wouldn't be fully appreciated for centuries, reflects the Islamic understanding that Allah's creation operates according to consistent principles that can be discovered through careful study and contemplation. Principles that reveal the divine order underlying all natural phenomena. The computational and analytical techniques he develops, particularly those involving complex calculations for chemical composition and reaction prediction, require not only scientific skill, but also profound trust in Allah's wisdom. Understanding that the precision and consistency of chemical laws reflect divine perfection, and that human investigation can reveal glimpses of this divine design embedded in the natural world. Dear brothers and sisters, the story of Jabir ibn Hayyan reminds us of the incredible achievements of Islamic civilization during our Golden Age, when Muslim scholars led the world in scientific advancement while maintaining their deep faith and commitment to serving Allah through their intellectual pursuits, demonstrating that Islamic principles and scientific excellence not only coexist but actually enhance each other. In our modern world, where science and religion are often portrayed as conflicting forces, where Muslim contributions to human knowledge are frequently overlooked or minimized, Jabir's example shows us that Islamic faith and scientific innovation not only can coexist, but actually strengthen each other, creating an approach to knowledge that is both rigorous and spiritual, both innovative and ethical. His legacy challenges us to reclaim our heritage of intellectual achievement, to pursue knowledge with the same dedication and precision that characterized our predecessors, to see scientific advancement as a form of worship and service to Allah, rather than something separate from religious life, inspiring us to contribute to human knowledge while maintaining our Islamic values and principles. The courage with which he challenged existing assumptions, the precision with which he conducted his experiments, the generosity with which he shared his discoveries with students and colleagues across cultural boundaries, these qualities represent the highest ideals of Islamic scholarship and remind us of what we can achieve when we combine faith with knowledge, devotion with innovation, service to Allah with service to humanity. His emphasis on empirical research and systematic investigation reminds us that knowledge is universal, and that our responsibility as Muslims includes not only preserving the knowledge we have inherited, but also advancing it further and sharing it with all who can benefit from it, regardless of their cultural or religious background, continuing the Islamic tradition of contributing to human civilization through scientific excellence. The ethical standards he established for scientific research, rooted in Islamic principles of honesty, humility, and service to others, provide a model for how we can pursue intellectual excellence while maintaining our religious values and commitment to serving Allah through serving His creation, demonstrating that the highest scientific achievement is compatible with the deepest religious devotion. If this incredible story has filled you with pride in our Islamic heritage, if it has inspired you to pursue knowledge with greater dedication, if it has reminded you of the responsibility we all have to use our abilities in service of Allah and humanity, please share it with others who need to hear this message of Islamic excellence and scientific achievement, helping to spread awareness of our magnificent intellectual legacy. Subscribe to our channel and join us as we continue to explore the rich legacy of Islamic scholarship, the scientists and innovators whose discoveries continue to benefit humanity, whose examples remind us that the pursuit of knowledge is a sacred duty, and that excellence in all endeavors is a way of honoring Allah and serving His creation, inspiring us to follow in their footsteps. May Allah grant us all the wisdom and dedication of Jabir ibn Hayyan. May He inspire us to pursue knowledge with the same excellence and systematic approach that characterized our Islamic Golden Age. May He help us to see our intellectual pursuits as opportunities for worship and service. And may He guide us to contribute to the advancement of human knowledge and understanding in ways that honor our faith and benefit all of humanity. Barakallahu fikum, and I'll see you soon, inshallah, for more inspiring stories from our magnificent Islamic heritage that will awaken your mind and illuminate your understanding of the incredible contributions our scholars have made to human civilization and scientific advancement.